very warm welcome to you as you join us on today's episode of Tax Matters. My name is Olumuyiwa Matuluko, and with me on the episode is Christina Pius.
Hello, viewers.
I'm so excited to be back. Did you know that a few weeks ago, this program, Tax Matters, was given an award by the apex body responsible for the regulation of taxation in Nigeria, talking about the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. The story of that award ceremony and the presentation of this plaque to us will come to you in the course of the program. We'll also be bringing you stories of enforcement exercises carried out by various FIRS offices across the country. And of course, there will be a story on enlightenment and education. The service continues to educate the tax-paying public. You know, we talk about the carrot and the stick. If you are ready, we are ready. The next 25 minutes promise to be exciting.
For 2 days, Wednesday 3rd of December 2014 and Thursday 4th of December 2014, FIRS offices from the Lagos Mainland East and the Large Tax Office Non-Oil went on enforcement drive. On Wednesday 3rd of December 2014, the Lagos Mainland East enforcement team was split into 4. The first team visited 3 companies. At the first company, which is located in Okpebi, they had tax liabilities arising from non-filing of returns for the past 2 years. The accountant and the managing director met with the FIRS team and a commitment was made in writing. At the second company, which is an hotel also in Okpebi, they had tax liabilities arising from VAT, deducted and not remitted, as well as non-filing of returns. The accountant spoke to the team and a commitment was made in writing. At the third company, which is a branding company, they had outstanding tax liabilities arising from non-filing of returns. The accountant claimed she was not aware. The auditor was called and a commitment was made in writing to meet at the FIRS office the next day for reconciliation. On the same day, the second team visited 4 companies. The first company was a telecom company who had changed their office address. They relocated to another building in the premises but opened up another business in the old address. They still have the same board of directors. They had tax liabilities arising from non-filing of returns for year 2011 and 2012. They agreed to have a meeting with the FIRS the next day with relevant documents for tax reconciliation. At the second company, a construction company in Ikeja, they refused to open the door for the enforcement team. The third company was an electronics store in Omole. The managing director had not registered with the FIRS since inception of business. He claimed he was having issues and he refused to collect the letter sent to him by the FIRS in February 2014. He collected the letter and an undertaking to go to the FIRS office around him to register and file his returns. The fourth company was an hotel in Alausa. The enforcement team met with the manager, who is a relative of the owner. He acknowledged that they were aware of the tax liabilities arising from VAT and non-filing, which was as a result of wrong management when the owner died. They had been paying the recent taxes but have not paid the backlog of a large amount. A commitment was made and a check of 1 million naira was signed. The third team enforced on 3 companies. At the first company located around Agege, the company had tax liabilities arising from non-filing of returns. The manager on ground was taken away when no agreement could be reached at the office. At the second company, which is an aluminium manufacturing company along Iju Road, the company had not filed their returns for the past year. The manager on ground was taken away since the MD could not be reached on the phone. At the third company, an engineering firm around Agege, the MD acknowledged that they were aware of the tax liabilities and were in the process of raising the check. A check of 1 million naira was signed to offset all outstanding tax liabilities. The second day, which was Thursday, 4th of December 2014, the different teams went out on enforcement drive. The first team enforced on 2 companies. The first company was a restaurant located around Ilukpeju. The enforcement team met with the manager on ground. They had tax liabilities and had an agreement to pay instrumentally, which they have not complied with. A check was signed. At the second company, the enforcement team met with the managing director. They had tax liabilities from non-filing. After much discussion and argument, a check of 4 million naira was signed. While the second team enforced on 4 companies. The first company is a firm into chemicals. It is located around Itire. The enforcement team met with the MD. He was taken away when an agreement could not be reached. The second company, located at Ladikpo, is into real estate. The address being used is the official address of another company, though owned by the same individual. The accountant took them to the MD because he was not aware of the tax liabilities arising from VAT and non-filing of returns. They went to the FIRS office for further clarifications. The third company, which is located at Ilukpeju, the team met with the accountant. They had tax liabilities from non-filing of returns for the past year. There, the MD was not in the office, but a meeting was fixed for the next day at the FIRS with the MD and the consultants. At the fourth company, also in Ilukpeju, it is a dental clinic. They had not filed their returns. The accountant was not in the office. Only the receptionist was available. The enforcement team left their details with the receptionist. They promised to be at the FIRS office on Monday for further reconciliation. The third team enforced on 3 companies. At the first company, which is located in Fadeyi, they are into communication services. They have tax liabilities arising from CIT and education tax. The enforcement team met one of the managers. She was taken away when an agreement could not be reached. The second company was a printing press located in K2. They had tax liabilities arising from non-filing of returns. The accountant was about to be taken away when the managing director called and asked him to make a commitment in writing. The third company, which was located in Ikorodu, was a pharmacy which had tax liabilities arising from non-filing of returns. The enforcement team met only the pharmacist on ground. It contacted the MD and a commitment was made in writing. The Land Tax Office non-oil also went on their enforcement drive on Wednesday and Thursday, 3rd and 4th of December 2014. On Wednesday, 3rd of December 2014, the team enforced on 3 companies. The first company was a construction company in Victoria Island. The managing director and the financial controller were not in the office. The human resource manager met with the enforcement team. The company had tax liabilities from non-filing of returns for the past 2 years. Calls were made to the financial controller, who asked that a commitment be made in writing for a meeting the next day at the FIRS to make necessary payments and account reconciliations. At the second company, which is an insurance company located in Lekki, the officials tried to deny the enforcement team access to the financial controller when they claimed he was not around. But eventually, he was found by the enforcement team. They had not filed their returns due to late approval gotten from Nikon concerning their accounts. A commitment letter was made in writing to pay provisional tax, as well as a meeting was slated for the next day at the FIRS office. At the third company, a telecommunication company in Lekki, the chief security officer, in his bid to stop us from entering the office, refused to show us the office of the management team. He was about to be arrested when the human resource manager and other members of staff came down to meet with the team. They had not found their returns for the past year. The human resource manager was not aware of the situation. Calls were made to the accountant. A commitment was made in writing to pay up their tax liabilities, as well as meet with the FIRS team the next day at their office. The second day, which was Thursday, 4th of December 2014, the Land Tax Office non-oil enforcement team visited 2 companies. At the first company, which was a construction company in Surulere, the head of account was on leave and his assistant had no idea of what was going on. A commitment was made in writing and a meeting was slated for the next day at the FIRS office. The second company was an insurance company located in Ebutemeta. The managing director and financial officers were not on seat. When the finance officer was called on the phone by his assistant, he acknowledged that they had not filed due to clearance from Nikon. They apologized and made a commitment to pay provisional tax the next day, also to meet with the FIRS team for further reconciliations. Welcome back. The Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, CITN, held its 31st induction ceremony in Lagos on Thursday, 20th of November 2014. The ceremony was graced by intellectuals from different fields. The special guest of honor, Professor Oyelawo Oyewo from the University of Lagos, admonished the inductees to be diligent in carrying out their duties as tax practitioners.
In this tax practice, you have ability to shape the future of this nation. You have the ability to contribute to the development of this nation. You have the ability to raise the standard and not just be a critic, but be a person that acts positively to the way and manner things are being done. So that when people come in contact with you, you will be that Nigerian that we all want Nigerians to be. professional with integrity, with a vision that is driven to achieve the ends of what he has proposed to be. Apart from diligence, you need integrity. So, if you bring into your profession lack of integrity, you will not go far. It is not a cause, it's the order of nature. Because a good name is what? Is better than silver or gold.
The high point of the ceremony was the swearing-in of a total of 583 inductees into the institute. The swearing-in ceremony was conducted by the CITN President, Mr. MACDK.
Please take the oath of allegiance by raising your hands. And when I say I, you now repeat your name individually. I do solemnly swear that I shall always comply with the provisions of the Institute Charter.
Prizes were presented to outstanding inductees who performed excellently in the qualifying examinations. And on Saturday, 22nd of November 2014, the CITN held the 2014 Dinner and Awards ceremony. Corporate bodies and individuals were recognized and given awards for their contribution in the taxation profession. Our own dear company, AMYMAT and Company, producers of Tax Matters, was given an award for its contribution to tax awareness through the program Tax Matters.
The winner for this award is AMYMAT and Company Limited, producers of Tax Matters on television.
The plaque was received on behalf of the MD and producer by his spouse.
I'm sure you're excited about this.
Yes, it shows our effort is being recognized.
Award of recognition presented to AMYMAT and Company Limited in recognition of the excellent tax awareness drive via Tax Matters. Tax Matters. We dedicate this award to God Almighty, to the Federal Inland Revenue Service for its consistent support over the years. We also thank the CITN, the regulatory body for taxation in Nigeria. All the members have been wonderful over the years. We want to thank the teaming viewers of the program for keeping faith with us week after week in the very many years that this program has been coming to you on a weekly basis. To the entire members of staff of Tax Matters, we say kudos, thank you very much. And of course, on the home front, I thank my wife, I thank my children for tolerating me. To God be the glory. We will now put this where we will be looking at it every day.
Congratulations to Tax Matters.
Every day, my people they for work. Some they do office work. Some get it them own business. So all of them want good road, constant power for better life. Whether now office work, oh yeah, pay your tax. Whether now your own business, oh pay your tax. If you want a better life, oh pay your tax. Now your civic responsibility, pay your tax. Better soup, now money cook am. Oh yes. Nothing goes for nothing, my brother. If you want potable water, security and hospital for make life jolly.
That's right. Good roads, good hospitals, potable water, adequate security all come from taxpayers' money. Play your part in making Nigeria great. Everybody, small scale, big companies, entrepreneurs, do the right thing. Pay your tax. This message is from the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS.
We are still on to Tax Matters, and we move on to the story of education and enlightenment as we promised you. You know that the FIRS is very good at making sure that taxpayers, that the tax-paying public is brought up to speed as to the rights, the duties, and responsibilities of everyone. And so it happened a few weeks back that the Government Business Tax Department held a workshop for ministries, departments, and agencies. Christina, it's your story again.
On Wednesday, 12th of November 2014, it was the turn of the Southeast region. The coordinating director of Field Operations Group, Mr. Ajayi Bamidele, wore two caps at the event as he stood in for the executive chairman of the FIRS, Alhaji Kabiru Mashi.
As some of you must have been already aware, the Government Business Tax Department of the FIRS was created to focus specifically on taxes resulting from the activities of government, particularly through its ministries, departments, and agencies. In the past, all the businesses of MDAs were subsumed in regular tax offices, and as such, the necessary attention was not given to MDAs, which was detrimental to both the tax authorities in fulfilling its mandate and the government agencies in keeping up with tax obligations of their staff and the MDA as agent of collection. You must have been reading on the pages of newspaper and television that enforcement is being conducted and being carried out. The enforcement is not limited to corporate organizations. It's also to MDAs. And I hope we seize this opportunity to do the needful, not waiting for embarrassment and enforcement to be conducted on your MDAs.
3 papers were presented on agency arrangement in tax collection, roles and responsibilities of collecting agents, role of tax compliance, expectations of MDA, and the place of technology in tax payments. In order to increase taxpayers' compliance and convenience in tax payments, the FIRS keeps introducing new and easier procedures of paying taxes online. Mr. Efe Omoridion, Project Manager e-Tax Pay at the FIRS, explained briefly the new e-tax payment system.
E-Tax Pay, that is FIRS electronic tax payments. Now, what is e-Tax Pay all about? It simply means being able to pay or effect tax payments from any Nigerian commercial bank from the comfort of wherever you are, be it your home, be it your offices, at any point in time that you choose. All you require is simply internet connection. How would FIRS e-Tax Pay work? Truth be said, if you are doing an e-payment going forward, there's a no tin, no business rule. Please, all MDAs should take notes. For e-Tax Pay, the service actually has 3 e-payment channels from the banks. You can actually use e-Tax Pay from internet banking, which is from your PC, laptop, iPad, or from your phones, and also the bank branches. You can demand for this service from the bank branches too as well. The basic features of the e-Tax Pay. First thing first, it will give you ease of payments. That's, tax payments can be made to FIRS as long as FIRS is signed on to the NIBS e-Tax Pay service. This basically means that as NIBS is our service provider, we are integrated with them, we are signed on to their platform as well too. This will also give you straight-through processing. All the banks in Nigeria have NIBS Instant Pay, NIPS, and also NEFT, that's NIBS Electronic Funds Transfer. This service is based on bank accounts. It's not based on the use of cards like other payments. You must have a bank account and you must be subscribed to your internet banking platform. If you've done your tax assessment, you know your tax liabilities, be it VAT, be it capital gains, any of the taxes you want to pay, all you need to do is log into your internet banking. Go to the billers. If you look at the way the e-banking thing is now, it's been revolutionized. You can make airline payments, you can make DSTV bills, and all those things, they are called billers. Among the billers there, you will see effective FIRS tax payments. You will click it. It will redirect you straight to a page. The first thing you will see there is insertion of your TIN number. This goes back to TIN. If you don't have TIN, you can't use this service. Immediately you input your TIN number, it will do a validation. This one is just IT. From our system to the system, it's just a matter of seconds. There is no manual intervention. It will populate your information as a taxpayer. Your company address, your the address and those information that are available to us, including your ROC numbers. You will see those things. And there will be a drop-down menu for you to proceed to the next stage. The next stage is for you to determine the kind of tax payment you want to make. Let's say it's capital gains tax, now the case may be, and you click capital gains tax. It will prompt you next. This is for somebody that knows his tax liabilities. You will click that you want to pay capital gains tax. Your account has to be funded. So it will specify the amounts. If it's the kind of tax that requires schedule upload, like withholding, there will be a place for you to put upload. You have an Excel sheet for your upload, for you to actually upload that payment to as well. It's very easy, it's simple. Now when you do all this, it will prompt you and ask you, just like your conventional internet transfer, do you want to effect this payment? It will prompt you, yes or no. You have to be sure.
At the end of the paper presentation, there was an interactive session.
I just want to ask that if I want to pay my tax and maybe I want to use somebody else's account to pay, would that be a challenge? And what if somebody accesses my account and wants to pay his or her own tax from my account without my knowledge? Is there a kind of validation to verify that the person paying the tax is the owner of the account? Are they synchronized or are they separate? That means I can pay my tax from anybody's account. If not, then is there a way of reconciling the fact that the person paying this tax is actually the owner of the account?
You can borrow money to pay your tax, but you cannot use except you are being fraudulent, and that's why I said I've understood the question. The paper presenter should not bother himself. If you are not fraudulent, you will not go and use another person's PIN number to say you want to pay your account, your tax. And there are three things that are involved in payment of tax. One, the transaction number, which is we normally call assessment number. Two, the total amount that is due. And then the third one is your TIN. And when these three are available to you, for you now to go and use my account, which you don't have number one, you don't have my bank account number. If somebody forged it and put some other things, the signature are not likely to be the same. There will be irregularities. And even if you succeed in getting my signature right, there is a need from the banker to actually confirm, because the taxes is going to pay is not going to be in Bamidele's name. It's going to be in SYZ name. Therefore, they are not related, and the banker will be put on inquiry to see how Bamidele will be paying for SYZ. Therefore, it is not something that is possible. Well, there is nothing impossible, but it is a fraud.
The World Bank does not allow credits or loans provided by them to be taxed. What do we do under this condition as regards these credits? Well, the issue of the loan by the World Bank and its repayments and conditions attached to it is one thing. But it's another thing, what do you do with the money? It is what you do with the money that determines whether tax is applicable or not. If World Bank gives a loan for educational purpose and you limit yourself to spending that money exclusively for that purpose, like it has been explained, of course, we won't expect any VAT to be paid. But if in the nature of arranging the supplies, you are awarding contracts, because contracts go with withholding tax. But let me quickly clarify to us that withholding tax has to do with the arrangement, nature of arrangement. Like here I said, if you buy anything in the open market, the ordinary cost of things, withholding tax doesn't apply. But where contracts comes in, withholding tax will apply. The issue of VAT has to do with what item you are buying.
We want to thank you most sincerely for spending time with us on today's episode of Tax Matters. Like Christina likes to say, time flies when you're having fun. I have had fun, and I'm sure that you have had fun. Have you had fun?
Yes, I have.
Let's do it again next week. Same session, same day of the week, same time of the day. Have a blessed week ahead. And from Christina,
thank you for watching, and bye for now.